AEL Network fan base. I'm here with the lovely Alien. I haven't casted with you in a hot minute. Alien, where have you been at? Do you have a wifey now? Like you probably started a family while you were gone.
Nope, nope, still ringless.
Not yet.
So if you're
Oh,
single, then here I am. Anyways, it's week 2 of season 3 Revolution. Oh God, it really has been so long
Retribution.
since me and I have casted, but it's season 3. Retribution week 2, play day number 3. We've got 2 big games coming for you guys. Team Notorious will be featuring in both of them, but one of them is going to be against Overtake, which is starting up here shortly, and then secondly would be up against Bother later on tonight. But of course, we've got to look at the league standings. We've got to see how these teams are performing so far. Team Notorious, Overtake, both in the Commando region. Team Overtake, of course, or Team Notorious, I'm sorry, is ranked higher at the 5th seed, while Overtake is looking for that first win of the season. They're all the way down in 11th place, right next to Fizz, right next to Extreme, and to be determined, as well as Gotham City Plumbers. A lot of teams are all kind of sitting around
What
the
a
same the
name.
same
Gotham
region.
City
So
Plumbers.
yeah,
Oh my God, what an absolute banging of a name. But yeah, we're not going to be focusing on those two teams. Let's take a look at the two teams that we're going to be focusing on tonight. We could see some of their stats. Actually, the first time that I was casting it, we didn't have any stats because no games were happening. So at the very least, now we kind of have a little bit. It seems like both of these teams. Oh wait, no, the win percentage at the very least is it would be 50%. Yeah, it should be 50% for Team Notorious. That's not updated. That's okay. Um, but a little bit of stats. Obviously, not really enough to gauge how the two teams are going to be playing. This is just the beginning. So once we continue to see more games and more games continue to get played, either on stream or off stream, we'll kind of have a little bit more information to go with. As right now, it just seems like Notorious has the advantage only because of the fact that they have one more win, but their percentages seem to be the same.
yeah, no, I definitely do agree. I think between both of them, they've only realistically played 3 games. Even though Team Notorious has a 1-1 record, they did get a win due to a team that ultimately has fallen out. So there is that little asterisk when it comes to their win percentage. But at the end of the day, both of these teams are looking to, I guess, build some momentum, build a way to kind of start moving forward, start moving in a positive direction. Notorious, they're looking to stay at that top half of the table, while Overtake trying to close in that gap. But we're going to take a look at the first team. As we look at Team Notorious, these are some of the most important stats you want to look at. The most played map is in Lair, which of course they did end up losing. Player to watch is Braze, 13 kills, a 1.63 KDR, roughing at around a little over 1 kill a round. Survivability can go up a little bit. 27% survivability isn't necessarily the greatest, but still early on in the season for Brace to kind of change that up. But at the end of the day, that big statistic you want to look at is the last match. They lost 7-4 to Team Sesh. It was the first played match that they actually got into in season 3. So a lot to look forward to from Team Notorious as we now look over to Overtake. Oh, never
I
mind.
love
The
these
rosters.
stats. I love these stats that we get to see. So, taking a look at Team Notorious's. Oh my God, I know good. Oh wow. Okay. Well, we got good, faster, select, Braze, and Osa. Obviously, it was Braze that we were going to be focusing on. At least last performance, or the performance that he's put up so far has been great. So, great for him. We'll see if he's going to give us another great performance tonight. Aileen, you recognize any of these players? I'm pretty sure I recognize good. Oh no, maybe not. I think the good I'm thinking about is just GUUD. Oh well.
No, being away from the competitive scene for as long as I have been already, a lot of these names are starting to become new. It's almost as if I'm watching a new batch of recruits coming in through the academy. Of course, I do want to point out good and faster do need to uptake the survivability percentage at 9%. It's not looking too pretty. Select, Braze, and Osa really do seem to be pulling some of that heavier lifting. But overall, their statistics is, for the most part, even. The survivability is the only thing that is different between all these 5 players. But at the end of it, this looks like a well-oiled machine that just needs to kind of pick themselves up after the last loss.
Now let's take a look at the other possibly well-oiled machine, Overtake, the other team that we're going to be casting tonight. The player to watch is Mr. Stokesy with a damn near 2.0 KD. My goodness gracious, look at this boy. His survivability is also not that bad. Still under 50%, but better than Braze that we had. And it seems like their match that was most played has been Bank, but that's it's Bank. This is the team that they only played 2 maps, and well, they've lost both of the times that they've played. So maybe this will be kind of a redemption um, type of game where possibly they'll be able to come back and hopefully do a little bit better. I think the last match that they played was against, what is that, the Gotham City gutter cleaners? What was it? The Gotham City toilet cleaners.
City Plumbers. Yeah.
Oh my god. Let's go take a look at the players on Overtake. Oh my god, I thought that said Nav is Nas. Nas Auntie. I think I recognize the name Auntie. Goose, Kylo says is new, so it seems like he's gonna be a new player. He hasn't played at all, no stats yet. And Mr. Stokesy, who was the player to look out for, and then Mr. Dom. Dom also doesn't have any stats, so maybe he's also new. He did a little bit of roster changes. Maybe there were a couple people that were not working out. Never mind. Dom is a sub, so somebody wasn't able to make it through. But anyways, time to get into my favorite part of the stream, the intro. We're gonna go to the bands, and Clubhouse and Bank are gone. I'm sad that Bank is gone. Chalet is gone, and Border. These are a lot of the core maps that are gone. Cafe is really the only one. Oh, there we go. Cafes. I would say the 3 central maps: Club, Chalet, Cafe. I think those are the 3 central. Maybe please don't tell me we're going to Consulate. I was gonna say maybe Consulate might overtake Cafe, but I pray that we're not going to have a consulate today. Yes, we don't. It's going to be Nighthaven. Nighthaven is a good map. I like Nighthaven. I like playing on night. I like casting night. And I like the attacks on night. I think that attacking strategies on Nighthaven are always very diverse. There's not a lot of the same stuff that happens over and over. I think the one thing that was kind of redundant with Nighthaven is a lot of times there's 2 points of entries for attackers to kind of go in through and then slowly wheedle their way in through sight. That's very typical of a Night. But other than that, a lot of different strategies in general with playing on Nighthaven. So, Alien, you like Night, or are you kind of like a Night hater?
No, no, I actually do like Nighthaven. Nighthaven is a map that I've kind of just grown to love as the months and years progressed. But I think at the end of the day, Nighthaven has really put himself into this. The map itself has really put itself in the meta. It's, in my opinion, one of the 3 most important maps to know and understand in the current competitive scene. As the operator brands are coming out, Montaigne, Mirror, 2 big operators from each respective attacking and defensive side. I think with this new ban phase that they've reintroduced in Siege X, it enables both of these teams to kind of ban within their comfortability limits, what they're willing to deal with, what they're not willing to deal with. As Blitz and Kite, I think it's safe to say that Team Notorious struggles against shields. It's almost as if Pangu has somehow rued the day of playing against shields, and the way that the shields have been reworked in the
I
current
don't blame
state of the
him.
game. It's I personally enjoy playing them. I don't like playing against them. I had to play against them yesterday. I hated it. It's why I only played 2 games of rank last night. I could not do it because I kept getting Blitz Rush and Montaigne Rush and Blackbeard Rush. But that's why I no longer play competitively. That's why these 10 players are playing competitively. And that's why we're getting into the first round of
I just
week 3.
realized, is that how they choose to spell? Okay, Notorious is supposed to be with a N-O-T. Am I wrong, or is it supposed to be Nut? Notorious. Notorious.
Yeah, it's a very unique way to
That's how
spell
they
the
spell it.
team.
So tell me, am I bugging out, or is Notorious supposed to be with a O?
You know what? This team, the team name is almost at the same age rating as this game, rated M for mature. So, as to look forward to
Okay.
the beginning of the first round, Team Notorious is opting to go upstairs. I like this. It's
Nice.
a very standard way to start the matchup, especially if you're playing defensively. Overtake is going to have to play this very interestingly. They got
I was
Twitch,
gonna
Ace,
say,
Nomad, new recruit, and then Zofia to start off the attacking phase
I was
as
gonna say I saw that there was a Blackbeard. I was like, oh my god, they got Blitz and Monty, but the shield is still pulling through with the BB, but it doesn't seem like BB's gonna get played. So, that's a little bit unfortunate. I honestly thought that that would have been funny. Having these two shields gone, still having to deal with a BB. I guess not. This is an interesting attacking lineup. I don't really see Zofia that much, but I'm assuming I was going to say maybe this might be for the wall, which is very typical. Usually like a Ash, even maybe something like a Buck to kind of get it from below. But Zofia will do just the trick. Plus, Zofia has those two concuss grenades as well. So maybe Zofia is actually the wave instead of using Ash. Regardless, just about a minute into the round, and wall is already going to start to get open. It seems like Overtake are pretty fast when it comes to getting this wall open and just pushing their way in general. Everybody's still outside, but I don't think that it's going to take them much longer to actually start moving their way through.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree, and I think the pacing that team that Overtake is trying to implement in this first round is going to be vital for the success. Now, of course, pings are starting to come out softly. A zombie does take out one of the drones. Not many drones are going to be left in hands of Overtake, but still a lot of time. The Clash, I think, is going to be one of the big operators that they want to keep an eye out. Nomad, though, is going to be a bit of a nuisance, trying to see if she can kind of get that Clash in a bit of an uncomfortable and unwilling position, but for the most part, the air jabs are being taken care of. Now, this rework from Clash, I'm going to say I'm a personal fan of it. It enables Clash to be able to play in a manner we have not been able to see before, and I really hope Team Notorious is able to capitalize with 60 seconds left in their defense.
We'll see this final minute, like you said, is going to be coming in. And I mean, I like the pace that Overtake is going at. Still, a lot of people are outside. The only person that's actually in is going to be Anti. Everybody else seems to be kind of outside, and now they're starting to move their way in. It's going to be a 3v4. Now, the boys on Notorious are going to be down a player, but that doesn't mean that everything is lost just yet. Now, going to be down two players. Going to be up to Mr. Braze and Mr. G-Nut. I don't even know what that is. That supposed to be good? Oh, my goodness. Anyways, 40 seconds now, just under remaining, and the boys on Nutorious are going to have to continue to hold it down as best as they possibly can. Overtake made decent progress, actually. They did very well, and now with 30 seconds to spare, they can start to really move their way through. Nutorious holding it down still, but boys on Overtake are going to make their way in through slow but steady. So she gonna have to worry about Raptors. The zombie is gonna be chilling on there. Along with that, he's gonna be tough on this wall. They do see him on the drone. The swing is gonna come out, and Brace is gonna be able to take down one. It's gonna be a 2v3, just a man advantage for the boys on Overtake and making a 2-man advantage.
No!
Stuck in the corner. Oh my goodness, not enough bullets. It didn't seem. That's gonna be unfortunate coming from the smoke. And an amazing offensive strategy that first round. Honestly, Overtake, they took a little bit of a long time, but once they started to get their picks, it was smooth sailing.
I liked it. I liked it though. I think like you had mentioned, like you just mentioned, Overtake really played that well. They got the numbers advantage very quickly too. It was a instant trade off, 1-for-1 C4 for I think a Famas kill. I think Twitch got the first kill. C4 came flying in and got the kill. But Overtake then developed the momentum. They then got the 2v4 advantage. I do really want to commemorate Team Notorious and being able to bring that as closely as it did. Azami, I'll be honest with you, if she managed to get that kill on Raptors, we could be looking at a much more closer round than what the ending really led out to be. The smoke, the fact that Azami, I think, got thrown off, didn't really realize that Ash was going to be right there in front of her. And then once she finally realized that, it was too late. She was caught mid reload. It was just an unfortunate, situation to be in if you're a zombie. But like I said, Overtake played that really well. They made that Clash look almost non-existent. I don't think after we panned off the Clash, we never had to worry about her again. That they did such a great job neutralizing that operator. They did a great job neutralizing Team Notorious's defensive strategy, and I really am interested to see how they want to change things up, as it seems like they're going back to the same site.
Well, I mean, they didn't lose it too badly. I think they kind of they got a little bit unlucky. And honestly, they were the two last players that were alive are holding it down pretty nicely. So maybe they want to give it another try. Hopefully, they will come out on top this time around, even out the score. It seems like the lineup is going to be the exact same. It seems like almost for either side, except for there's not going to be a clash. That's going to be unfortunate. What does it matter? As for the offensive, the Overtake, they're absolutely going the exact same strategy. If it's broke, don't fix it. Or if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's what I meant.
Mhm.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. So that's what they're going to be doing now. Just about a minute into the round already. And wall's starting to get opened up. As per usual, seems like they're basically on the regular scheduled program as they were last round.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree, and I think what Overtake really took from that last round is making sure that they have an entry strategy for both sides of the site. They've been able to open the walls up in a manner that's a lot faster than the last round. Now, of course, engagements are starting to come in within 90 seconds left into the round. Nomad throwing a grenade. It seems like pushing away the shotgun. Mute though does eat up a little bit of damage. On the other side, though, Recruit taking up a lot of damage from the Overtake side. But it seems like they keep knocking at this door and nothing seems to be opening up just yet. Ace Jammer does go out. Bandit, though, tricking it. Beautiful Bandit Mute also there, making it damn near impossible for them to open up this wall. Overtake, wasting a lot of time. Grenade, though, does come out finally. Ace charge does go out. Bandit being paid. Can she get the block? Yes, he does. But Goose gets the kill onto Osa. A 4v5 in favor of the attack with 50 seconds left.
We'll see Notorious down one player. Hopefully they'll be able to at least equalize it out. But now 45 seconds. Overtake are going to slowly but surely make their way through. It seems like almost everybody is outside still. Same strategy as before. One person's making his way into the building. It's going to be Anti. I think he also came from that same section last time too. Connector, and then somebody else came in from that connector breach. And that is going to be a trade. Still, the boys of Notorious are going to be down one player. Overtake are going to have that man advantage. 20 seconds now on the clock. And another player on Notorious is going to be taken down 2v4 now in 15 seconds. And there you go. That's a 3 for Mr. Goose on the loose. That's a 4-piece. My goodness gracious. On the loose he is. Put this man in a cage. He's absolutely boxing him up. Overtake. Overtaking Team Notorious. They're doing an amazing job on Knife so far.
It's almost like they decide Team Notorious decided in the last 30 seconds to just say, hey, I think Goose is hungry. It's getting late. I don't think he's had dinner. Let's feed him one at a time. They committed to, I think, 2 or 3 just incomprehensible swings, and it gave Goose probably a 5-course meal within 20 seconds. Oh, that's not trying to take away from the fact that Overtake played that really well. They were kind of knocking at the door. They were wasting a lot of time. Bandit did really well, denying that site wall to be open, to be breached by the Ace. Bandit tricking it perfectly. The Mute Jam were never getting taken care of until after the Bandit charge was already taking out one of the canisters. Team Notorious did 65-70% of that round really well, and then those remaining 30 percentage was just Goose and the rest of Overtake overwhelming Team Notorious and giving us a scoreline that we're at.
I mean, Goose absolutely. That man was that little 4-piece really had the boys on Notorious on their hands and knees, man. That was brutal. But we'll see maybe this round the Notorious are going to be a little bit stronger. The top floor, they were good, but they weren't good enough. So basement seems like that's where we're going to be going. They're going to be just scrapping the top floor for now. Probably the best idea. And, Overtake doing an amazing job still. Those last 2 rounds were great. Even when they come down to the wire, slowly but surely making their way in through the building. As for the boys on Notorious, actually, there's not going to be a crazy amount of deep roam. It seems like there's only one person that's going to be in the basement. Everybody else is going to be on that first floor. Of course, granted, Mr. S Nut. I don't know who S is. Stokesy? Was that who it was? I think Stokesy. No, Stokesy's on Overtake. No, Stokesy's on Overtake. S Nut, man. Anyways. Ice is going to be the only one that's actually going to be in the basement. We'll see how that's going to go. I'm not sure if Overtake are going to realize that, the basement is basically kind of a little bit free if they're able to find that perfect gap to slowly but surely make their way through. They're great. The first one to get taken down by Naz.
Yeah, Jay-Z's biggest optic, getting that entry point into 90 seconds of the round. And I've got to say, for Team Notorious, they've really got to set things up. If they lose this round, I'm not saying it's over, but it's definitely going to be a hard one as Naz looking to get a second kill into this round. Swing does come out, pings Also coming in thick and fast. What a headshot onto G-Nut. Good night, my friend. Legion off the board. There goes those soup canisters. And the defense is just falling apart faster, though. Bringing one back into the hands of Team Nut. Is getting tracked by Deimos, so the attacking side is definitely looking for him. Shots are flying through. No shots are coming through, but Osa gets one. Dom gets another faster, and just like that, S-Nut in a 1v4 situation. Can he bring it apart? But no! Stokesy cleaning it up with the boss. Beautiful skin, by the way. You can get it on the R6 shop. But another round in the hands of Overtake.
Can we all agree to just call it Team Nut? Because I love that. Okay, Kylo gives me the go ahead. All right, from now on, Team Notorious is going to be Team Nut. I like that. And unfortunately, what I don't like is the fact that Team Nut is getting blown back. They're getting blown straight back to the lobby 3-0 so far. It just seems like the boys on Overtake always seem to get that first man advantage, and since then it's just it crumbles down slowly but surely. I love these face cams too. Oh my god, look at this. I love seeing it. This is such a cool aspect of the game. Anyways, that was that little ban phase. We're going to be having the Clash that's going to be banned on the defense, and we're going to have the Deimos that's going to be banned on the offense. Team Nut are going to be going back downstairs to see if they're going to be able to do it a little bit better. These last 3 rounds, like I said, I think Team Nut, they're good, but there's something a little bit missing. I think what's really missing is they end up losing an operator first. They never really get that first pick. They always get first picked. And I think that can really make a difference, especially with Overtake, because they definitely know that even as they do get that man advantage, they don't start acting rashly or, doing too much. I think that they still operate the exact same and take their time and just stick to exactly what they're supposed to be doing, despite having that man advantage.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree. And I think with the entry being such a big thing, as I think Vigil looking to get something almost takes Anti off the board. But thankfully, the game decided to favor him once, and Ram, well, kiss him goodbye, honestly, at this point. He's about as useful as a pair of chopsticks in the middle of a Chick-fil-A restaurant. Like, it really is not looking too pretty for Ram. But at the end of the day, I think Overtake still has the control. But Braze, though, showing his nut, I guess. 2 big kills within the first 60 seconds. But Stokesy gets one back.
Oh, really?
Hey.
Oh my god, when I make an observation about their name, I'm the one that's like, B, keep it PG. What? What? Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't care, it's all good. We chilling. But Overtake, they're gonna be chilling. They're gonna be down not just 1 man, but 2, make it 3. A 2-piece, Mr. Good. Messing him up, looking for his 3rd dom. He's gonna take him out. He's gonna need to look for a 4-piece. He's gonna want to clear out this game, and there goes the 2nd kill. A 1v4 to a 1v2. He's got better time. 1:20 remaining on the board, and he also has the diffuser in hand. This is looking honestly winnable for either side so far. Team Nut, they are still able to win this out. They just gotta hold it down. Don't, overswing. Don't do anything too much. Just sit and hold tight. As for Mr. Dom on Overtake, he's had a lot of time to work with, and he can most definitely win a 1v2 with just about a minute.
No, it definitely is possible, and I think he's got the utility he needs. He's got a flashbang, he's got a drone, he's got 2 thermite charges. He can definitely make a big hole in the site and make his way through. The only issue is you're going up against 2 guns that, even though they aren't notoriously the hardest hitting guns, they're some of the easiest and long-ranging guns in the defensive side. Osa and Braze definitely do have their work cut out. They're going up against a player, but hey, Osa decided to say, hey, Axel, I'm gonna need you to shut up and let us focus for the next round. Beautiful wall bang. And round number 5. Here we go.
Hey, that was not too shabby at all. And I mean, it was almost a wall bang on the side of the Fat Thermite too. I believe, oh, there we go, it was Dom. He almost got that wall bang, and he almost clutched up. But honestly, I think Team Nut needed that win. It's been it's been far too many rounds where they've kind of choked. So I'm glad to see that they at least have one under their belt. Let's see if they can find themselves another. Is going to be going back up to this top floor.
I mean, they did almost choke last round, to be fair. They had the advantage thing was like a 1v4, and then they decided to allow the two defenders that were already offside to go and swing, and both lost their gunfight. One, in the middle of a Volt getting headshotted, that's a little rough. But at the end of the day, I think it was a round that they needed to win. Going upstairs in the site where Overtake, for the most part, has had their number is a little questionable. Of course, they probably have a game plan. They probably are changing the game plan a little bit. They're bringing in now. They swapped out the Clash. They swapped out the Malusi and now bringing the Goyo, which after his change, which was back eons ago, when UB were still in middle school and I was in college, which funny enough still am. Doesn't have the shields. It's just the canvases you put down on the ground. You hope for the best. They're not as effective as they once were, but the utility for the most part is usable.
Who's Little Pete?
I'm interested to see. Huh?
Who you said Lil Pete was still in elementary school or in middle school? Who's Lil Pete?
You, Little B.
Oh. Hey, baby, you're an old head. I'm casting with an old head right now, but he's the coolest old head right after Kylo. Am I right?
He's got more experience, so I guess.
He's seasoned. He's a seasoned vet. I'm gonna take like you're about to take the next generation, and then after you, I'm about to take that generation. So, we got Kylo, the seasoned vet. You're mildly seasoned, and I'm not seasoned at all. I'll get there though. Anyways. He'll be seasoned soon enough. Once you have to, hang up your docks. You leave the docks at the door, and Alien will take them back up. But anyways, enough about docks. We're here for the game. A minute and a half remaining in the round so far, and seems like Overtake still in and about the same kind of strategy that they always end up doing. They slowly but surely make their way through. I'm waiting for Anti to go in through Connector, start making his way into the building through there. We'll see, as Mr. Goose on the Loose is kind of testing the waters over by top rafters.
Yeah, no, I do think with the Blackbeard rework that came out recently, it has definitely enabled players to do things that it's unforeseen. Dom, though, taking out G-Nut. So 60 seconds left into the round of 4v5 in favor of Overtake. The attacking side once again getting that entry kill. Now, of course, Team Nutorious still has a strong grasp into the defensive setup and into the site as a whole. They're able to wall them off. The zombie barricades are going to be vital, but with 45 seconds left in the round, it's going to be a big one for Team Nutorious to hold out. Blackbeard peeking forward, shotgun in hand from Faster, waiting for the right moment, and Blackbeard is just going to give him all the time in the world. Mutha does play it right, falls back a little bit, doesn't have a C4 in hand, so he cannot do much about it. Blackbeard brashes through. Razor gets one, Faster gets a refrag, also gets one. It is just bodies dropping faster than you can say hi. A 1v3 situation, 15 seconds left. It's all down to the Zofia. She's got the AR, she's got the time, but does she have the position? Yes, he does. Now gets one. Can he get two? No! Braze cleans up the round. Team Nutorious brings it within one. We're going to round 6, and I've got to say, Bianca, much better 2 rounds from Team Nutorious so far.
Yeah, the cross angles that were being held on Team Nut was great, as these attackers were slowly but surely making their way through. Yeah, I liked a lot of the angles that they were holding for their players, for their teammates, especially over by that waterfall hallway there. Amazing job for the boys on Nut. We'll hopefully see them be able to kind of reconstruct that same round, or at least these last 2 rounds for their final defensive round of regulation. They're going to be going, of course, this main floor, the only floor that they really can go. I'm surprised they go here first and not Kitchen. Maybe Kitchen is more of a ranked site only because I feel like I almost never see this site get played when I'm playing ranked. As for when I'm casting, I feel like I never even get to really see this site at all. It's control room site.
I want to say it comes down to just the way you're able to play this site. There's a lot more variability. There's a lot more layers you can add on to holding control than you can in kitchen. With kitchen, you're very much exposed, and it becomes very linear. And linear can work both ways. Yes, the attack should be just as linear as the defensive hold, but it's a push and pull. It's almost like a tug of war when it comes to playing kitchen. I think with control, the defensive side has that little bit extra layer of defense. The fact that they're able to expand and enlarge the site more than what you're able to in kitchen. That's why the favoritism is there. I personally don't care. I let my teammates choose wherever they want to go. In ranked, I don't. I play the same three operators. I can't tell you why. Ranked players don't try to play more competitively. But hey, it's 2025. I've just given up that fight.
Wall overtake. As per usual, they open up that wall about a minute into the round. So that's exactly what's going to be happening now. We'll continue to see more utility being destroyed on the side of Nut as, slowly but surely Overtake are going to make their way through. However, there is a very extremely heavy top four boys on Nut. There is one person again in the basement. Everybody else seems to be on this top floor. Nobody is actually in the physical site now. Os is the only person that is physically returned back to site.
Ooh.
Everybody else is on that top floor, and damn, Auntie, absolutely shut down by Sir Nut. It's gonna be a 4v5 in favor of the boys on Nut. I think that the first pick to round, whatever that statistic is, the first pick to round, yeah, whatever it is, has been 100%. I think every single time Nut's gotten the first pick, they've won the round, and every single time that Overtake has gotten the first pick, they've won the round. I think
No, actually, last round, Notorious were the ones that got the first. No, Overtake was the one that got the first pick.
Oh.
It was Overtake. Viper though off the board, so there's that. 60 seconds left. Ping comes out. Domdo gets Sir Nut, as you like to call him. And it's all down to a barely alive mute. 3 defenders up against 3 operators on the attacking side that I personally have played very extensively. And in the side that control where verticality is vital, Ram is just going to rain loose on this ceiling site. Azami, though, getting pinged out, a lot of the players in Nutorious are known, and they know that she's waiting at the bottom of the staircase. Coordination is going to be key from the 2 players of Overtake. Faster, though, gets the kill onto Stokesy. What a beautiful kill from Dom, though. 3v2 situation. Overtake does not have the time, and oh no! Nas gets faster right after he got Dom. It's all down, but Osa, the brand on mute, cleans it up from Team Notorious. 3-3 going into the second half, and I've got to say, starting the way they started and ending the way they did, good stuff from Team Notorious.
I love that. And you know what? If you noticed, like I had mentioned, all of them were basically off. Well, all of them were offsite at the very beginning of the game, or of the round. Sorry, everybody was offsite. Not a single person was actually even on the first floor. Everybody was either upstairs, which was 4 out of the 5 players, and then that final player was in the basement. As the time started to tick, and it was 40 seconds, 45 seconds, everybody started to go, oh my god, why does Goose look very scared? He looks so concentrated. Oh my god. He's like, we just lost 3 rounds in a row. We won 3, now we lost. Goose is the one that got the 4-piece. Absolute machine. Anyways, I digress. 45 seconds remain on the clock. Team Nut all started to go back to site. Everybody that was roaming had gone right back down to that first floor. And that final kill, again, one thing that I'll actually commend Nut for is the fact that they hold really great cross angles. We saw a really great cross angle up on the top floor that really threw Nutorious into that win that they had gotten upstairs. In that last round, if you notice, same thing, hopping in through that wall, that soft wall. Perfect cross angle. I think a really good thing to commend to Nut for is the fact that they are able to hold these really good crosses, and that's exactly what you want to do. You want to have that insurance, especially when you're up players. Having that insurance means everything. We're going to be seeing that Overtake on their first defensive site, and it's going to be up on this top floor.
Yeah. Now, one thing I do want to point out about Team Nuts' defensive band is Kaid and Bandit both off the board. It's effectively leaving Overtake with just mute to try and deny these hard breach walls or these reinforced walls to be breached open. Now, in hindsight, for Team Notorious, it may sound like a great idea, but the amount of the amount of utility that is now available for Overtake Mira, for example, as you saw, being able to be utilized, I've got to say it's a big Campbell and Stokesy though, making sure that G unit is off the board for another round. I've got to say G Nut 2-6, not good at all, but a strong start once again by
Despite his
Overtake.
name, his name is good, but he's not doing too good tonight. At least not this game. We are going to be seeing Team Nut play one more time, so at least if they lose this, they have a little bit of redemption. Regardless, that's already one player down. Almost two. Sir Nut is going to get DB node, and that's going to be the end of his reign. He is actually still possibly able to be revived. We'll see if that's even going to be potentially possible for the boys on Nutorious, or if they're just going to have to let him bleed out. Maybe somebody's going to be there to kind of help him out. But anyways, minute 40 man on the clock, and Overtake seems to be doing great. Everybody is up on the top floor. No roamers needed, and they might just be able to get this flipper res off. Yes, they will.
I really thought that pixel angle that the player on top rafters was going to be able to get him, but nonetheless, Swing does come out of Osa, or the fake hologram is picked up, but Stokesy does finally clean up Osa. So there goes the hard breacher off the board. Stokesy getting a triple kill onto the round, as Cernut is also off the board with 60 seconds left to go. Ash and Eon, the last two operators remaining for Team Notorious to try and continue this mountainous comeback. But for Overtake, with the amount of time they've got, the hold that they've got, it almost seems unbearable. Goose cleaning up one of the last remaining players from Team Notorious. It's all down to Ash. Graze, 45 health in a dream. 40 seconds left for defensive operators to kind of clean up. I've got to say, it's not looking probable. It's not looking possible. It's just not looking good. You've got better odds winning the lottery than it is for Team Notorious to come out of this round victorious.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. Stokesy was looking for his ace. He had that three-piece. Won't be needed. As for Brace, he was the player to watch, and I noticed the only other person that's kind of been able to kind of help Brace out at all has been Osa, who's going neutral. They're 4-4 right now. Everybody else is pretty negative. Despite that, well, not pretty negative, but they're all negative. Despite that, Team Notorious is only down one round. I don't know if it's Team Notorious versus Overtake, or if it is Brace versus Overtake. Brace has been doing great. I think that the main thing is just getting a little bit more help from his teammates. Teammates dying out, dropping like flies. It happens. I get that. But yeah, look, we got 3-7, 3-7, and 2-6. I'm not trying to, shit on anybody too hard, but the score could be a lot different if Brace had a little bit more help. This is not just, one kill or two kill negatives. Mr. G-Nut is 4 kills negative. Sir Nut is 4 kills negative. And so is Faster Nut. Oh my god, what are these names? Oh my god. I didn't like that until it left my lips. But, as for Overtake, everybody's doing amazing. Just, except for Angie, who's, it's okay. But I think that Team Nutorious, if they were able to kind of actually be in good positions and not drop like flies so often, the score might be a lot different.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree, and I think the way that they were playing between round 4 to 6 really showed the quality of Team Notorious. But overall, for the most part, like you mentioned, Overtake has been playing a lot more synergized. They've been playing more as a unit, even though Anti, for the most part, hasn't really even checked into the series or into the matchup. He still has been able to provide some level of insurance when called upon. You can't really say that for the majority of Team Notorious, who they look like they're struggling a little bit against Overtake tonight. Now, of course, could just be jitters, could just be the fact that they didn't really get a proper warm up. There, the possibilities and excuses is endless, but at the end of the day, it is play day. You've got to be able to show up, and for the most part, no one really has from Team Notorious. But that doesn't mean that they can't change it. It doesn't mean that they can't, all of a sudden turn a switch and really change things. And really going to start coming down to can more of Team Notorious's players, like Faster, like Cerna, like G Nut, are they going to be able to bring in the quality that they need to bring in and aid their teammates, or is it really just going to be a two-man show?
Well, hopefully not. We are going to be seeing some
Ooh.
Candelas coming through right now. It's going to still be a 5v5, a minute 20. Looks like the entry is going to start to happen. That's going to get shut down immediately by Dom, who is the warden. Absolutely no Candelas mean anything to him. It will at the very least be a 4v4. Anti going down yet again. Unfortunately, not going to be able to find himself, but he's going to be 1-5 now. So about a minute remaining, and we'll see if Overtake is able to hold it down a little bit longer, or a team that are going to be able to come out victorious. As for Thomas, dropped his double digits, and Braze is looking for his 10th kill as well.
Yeah, no, the action is starting to kind of peanut fast in the last 3/4 of the round. Nazda does get G Nut, so that's another player off the board from Team Notorious. And it seems like Overtake has a lot of control, but Cernot takes out Nas. A 3v3 with 30 seconds left to go. Gusto still holding the top floor control. The attackers are starting to surround both Dom and Stokes, Warden being on site, not necessarily a terrible position to be in. Of course, Goose take out Nut. 2v3 situation. Team Notorious losing grasp of this round as the attacking side. Thermite does run across. Dom gets one. Stokes, he cleans up the remaining player. Another round coming into the hands of Overtake. Team Notorious really battled themselves back into the round, but it just was too late. And with no proper setup, it was not looking like it was going to come out in their favor.
Yikes. Yeah, that was pretty close for a little while. Ended up being the 5v4, then a 4v4, then a 3v4, then a 3v3, then a 3v2, and then eventually Overtake just ended up overtaking the boys on Team Notorious. But a great round, I will say. They didn't even go that basement floor. They ended up going that middle floor, which I feel like is more of the tertiary side. Now we're going to be going down to the basement. We'll see how this is going to go. Both Walden Owls, by the way, Team Notorious opted not to ban out the Mira, but actually to ban out the Bandit and Kaid. Whether or not that was the right choice, well, it doesn't matter. Overtake, they're not even going to bother going Mira down in this basement. They're going to have a completely different lineup. We're going to be seeing the Scopos they're playing. We'll see how Stokesy is going to do with that.
I haven't really had much chance or much experience being able to witness this defender operator. I've also been gone for as long as I have been, so the familiarity of that operator and exactly the way that it's meant to be utilized is unknown even to me. That being said, I have heard a lot of different things. I've been able to see a handful of things, and from my safe observation, is that the possibilities is endless with this operator. It just comes down to being able to properly utilize him with how fresh this operator is to the meta and into the state of the game. It's still a little too early to kind of say, oh, you should really use this operator as more of a roaming operator, or use to kind of hold down two sites, which is one player. Still a lot of time for this operator to really set foot into the meta, if it even has a chance to set foot into the meta. But Sternut says it doesn't even matter. Castle's off the board. Beautiful play coming out from the Demos, and a strong start for Team Notorious.
I'm reloading! I have you covered.
As we near into the half mark of the round, Team Notorious still has that man advantage. Now, of course, Anti waiting to see if he can kind of get a second kill into the game to try and push his team back into even Stevens. Demos, though, tracking down that new operator Stokesy is running. Damos is encapsulated to just the pistol, but the line call does come out. Ping's coming across, but not really feasible. Nas, though, does get Sir Nuts. There goes Damos off the board. And that's the refight they were looking for. With 60 seconds left into the round, Overtake really has a strong hold as it looks forward to a map point. Of course, the Montaigne dropping down a hot drop into the site. It's all by himself. I don't think many people realize this. It's only one player on site. Line call does ring true. Montaigne not really finding anything. Brazen does get another kill for Team Notorious. And wait, doesn't even know that Dom is there.
No!
Now he does. And the swing comes up, but no one's really able to help. Dom does get one. Bastards off the board. 3v3, 35 seconds left into the round. Team Notorious surrounding the side. Montaigne looking for the kill. Folksy, though, does get the kill on one. Host is down. Doesn't even matter. Overtake. Don't feel the overwhelming pressure from Team Notorious and get the round, get the map into serious points.
Oh my God, I love Dom. Oh my God, I love Dom. Oh my goodness gracious. What a champ. What a champ. That was a little bit of a missed opportunity with the shield, with the Monty. It doesn't matter though. Amazing job. And like you said, catapulting themselves into match point. Despite Overtake's record of their 2 games being both losses. I mean, they're playing better than just a well-oiled machine. Overtake decide to actually take this time out. This might be more in the favor of Team Notorious than anything else. Overtake don't really need a timeout. The momentum that they're at is amazing, but then again, maybe they just want to recollect their thoughts. They want to remind themselves that, look, even though we are at, you know who Auntie looks like? Austin Matthews. I have to say this. Auntie looks like Austin Matthews, the player on the Maple Leafs hockey. Do you know what Austin Matthews looks like?
I mean, I do know how Austin Matthews looks like.
Tell me Auntie does not look like Austin Matthews.
I mean, there's a resemblance.
No, he looks like Austin Matthews, but Austin Matthews is way more of like a square head. Like Auntie's face is a lot more like, a lot less boxy. Anyways, I'm so sorry. I had to say that. He looks like that. Just my little tangent gone. My fault.
Protect your bombs from
Anyways,
by
maybe
attackers.
they just wanted to discuss the fact that, hey guys, let's remind ourselves that anything can happen. We're on match point, but this could easily go OT. Let's completely figure out exactly the route that we want to take to close out this map, this round, and not bring ourselves to OT.
Yeah, it's about as simple as it can get, honestly. I think for Overtake, you nailed it right in the head. Overtake, they're in the map point. You take that time out, you kind of get the final game plan set. Team Notorious, on the other hand, have to play perfect siege for the next 3 rounds, and they still have their timeout in hand. Then you get 1 round, 2 rounds, then we might be looking at another timeout 2 rounds from now, being utilized by Team Notorious if we get to that point. Still a lot of siege left to play. 3 minutes is the bare minimum. Of course, if a plant goes down, then it can maybe elongated just that little longer. But with the way that Team Notorious has been playing, the way that Overtake has been able to just take control of this map from round number 1, even the 3 rounds that Team Notorious has won, albeit phenomenal rounds, it never felt like Overtake was being overwhelmed. It never felt like Overtake was going to lose grasp of the series. And it showed as each round has progressed since then. Last round, it looked like Team Notorious was doing well. And then Overtake it almost like they gave him a false sense of security, surrounded the hounds themselves, and then took him out about as easy as you like. And now, of course, Team Notorious are now looking at a barrel that they didn't want to look at. They're looking at a barrel of a gun that is about as hot as it gets. One false step, one false move can be vital, and the smoke canister coming through, the calls are coming in. 60 seconds into the round, all 10 players still alive. First bit of damage finally being in by Ash by his smoke canister. And Overtake are feeling the pressure, but will they falter? Which they haven't shown much of.
About a minute and a half remaining, and already it seems like Overtake are gonna they're closing off that entire left side. Now that we're looking
Oh,
at that connector and electrical, Nat is gonna be able to take down Sir Nut. It's gonna be a 4v5 in favor of the boys on Overtake, but quickly gonna be a 4v4. It's
ooh.
not gonna get any easier for the boys on Overtake. This little push that is coming in from Team Nutorious is absolutely working in their favor, and this Monty is great for them. Being able to take that space effectively, that was exactly what they needed. Now Overtake, down a player, still about a minute
Ooh.
remaining, and it's going to be a 3v3 now. An amazing kill from the boys on Overtake. We'll see, it might just be another one if they're a little bit cheeky with it. Now just under a minute. We'll see how this continues to pan out now. As the execute will have to begin, Plant is going to start to go down. Alien, take it from here.
C4 does fly on, does not land a beautiful shot from the air. C4 does get faked out. The concern was definitely there. No missed shots. Gina gets one dump, gets off the board to fill C4. Could be final as Team Notorious finally gets the plant down for the first time this entire game from both teams. Now, of course, Stokesy, two big players, two phenomenal players that can definitely clutch it up if the call is made. And they're definitely getting the phone right, but can they finally do the job? Montaigne, though, being a little bit of a nuisance. Good swing coming down, but the down does come through. Both players are down. Montaigne with the saving grace. Frost is all that is left. He knows where one is at. Montaigne does get meleeed, but there's a second set of guns that you have to be worried about. The shield player is going to be the death sentence. Yes, it does. Flashback comes through. Gina gets the final 2 kills. Team Notorious finally gets the plant going down. Successful attack, but they still got 2 more rounds before they can force overtime.
Oh my god. I'm telling you, I don't think Overtake needed that timeout. I feel like that timeout probably, I'm all about the momentum. I feel like if you're off of a heater, they won 3 rounds in a row. If you're off of that heater, I feel like it's not necessary to give that break because, like I said, I feel like that's going to work out in Notorious's favor more than it's going to work out in their own favor. And that really early push from Notorious into Connector was incredible. Immediately, the boys on Overtake were forced to give up that entire side, not just giving up Connector, but they practically had to give up the electrical as well because Monty was pushing his way through. There was somebody that was there, but it's not like you're going to be able to defend that forever, especially when a Monty is pushing up on you. Monty is made for taking space. Team Notorious, they're down but not out. They got 2 rounds to bring it to OT. As for Overtake, they still are looking good. It's 1 round till they close it out, but Notorious, amazing job last round. Let's see if they can recreate that. They said, Good says the alpha's coming out. We'll see if that's true.
Oh. You know, and I like the comments that Team Notorious has finally got. Now, is it possible they found the answer a little too late? Maybe. But sometimes when it comes to school and you turn in an assignment late, you still turn it in. It could be the case here, where Team Notorious brings it to at least within 1 round, Overtake finally closes it up. That is definitely a possibility. But there was a lot of things that had to happen in Team Notorious's favor for them to finally overwhelm Overtake's defensive setup. A C4 not hitting its mark. The fact that was a Stokesy swung and missed a headshot onto the planting thermite in the midst of a smoke that enabled the plant to finally go down. There was a lot of things that happened in that round, the closing seconds, that enabled Overtake, or that enabled Notorious to finally win that round away from Overtake. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's improbable. And G-Nut falling off, the biggest operator of that round, the Montaigne off the board. It's almost like it's a staircase to a loss. Not saying it's definitive, but it just looks like Overtake has finally gotten over that hump. They got over that mountain of a shield operator, and it's all that's left. That was the trump card for Team Notorious. That was the trump card, and now it's time to see, can somebody make something out of nothing?
Hey, Braze is still alive. Braze is doing pretty good considering his team is a little bit lacking right now, at least this game. We'll see if they're going to be any better next game, if this does end right now. But now this is final minute remaining. Are they realizing that there was somebody so close on Breach? Oh my god, it is going to be a kill for a kill. Still going to be a 3v4. Boys Notorious are going to be down one player. But now, Faster Nut, my goodness gracious, this name. He's going to be already making his way in through sight. A 3v3 is going to turn to a 3v2 now. Overtake have been overtaken in the corner, brother. Where are you? Faster to get a 3, please. It's going to now be a 3v1 down. There you go. Good. He get that, like you said, that was their trump gun. They don't need a trump card. Nutorious coming out, showing up this round. Gaining that advantage, getting that extra kill on Breach, absolutely beautiful. Don't know what Overtake is doing, but it might just be OT. Overtake, shaking in their boots right now. I would be right now, because, like you said, Monty was such a pivotal player the round previously. They lost the Monty early on. It was hard. It was a lot harder for them to take that space. And look what they did. They still did it. Now y'all are forcing Overtake to go back to the basement. They're going down to the basement. They're not, mind you, basement was their 3rd round pick. Okay? It went top floor, main floor, and then basement. They're going down to the basement. Don't know why they didn't pick that first round. We'll never know. What we are going to know is if this game is going to go OT or not. We'll see how well the boys on Team Nutorious continue to play this out. No Monty right now for Team Nut. See if that changes.
I would like to point out, and or I would like to take a moment and send my apologies to Team Notorious. I didn't recognize your game.
They still got it, man.
That being said,
Master Nut really did that. He went from 4-10 to 7-10.
I would like to ask a question to the Frost. What are you doing? I understand. Bodies are dropping. Your team is failing. They're just slipping onto the wave side. They're going looking towards the next round. What are we doing running into the middle of the site where you know the opposing team has at least 2 players in? And instead of at least swing left, you got your guy to your right. Look left. When you're running in, you see that door into the little connecting room. You know that nobody's at that door. You got your teammate to the room to the right of that, next to rafters. Just look left towards the hatch. You know that the guy was there, aimlessly running in, and it was one of the most questionable rounds that I've seen from Overtake so far in this entire map. But it could be just a boost that Team Notorious needs. Team Notorious, I'm not saying they have won this just yet, but if they bring it to overtime, there is a possibility that round number 11, will be the round that is talked about as the tipping point of Team Notorious' entire series. G-Nut, though, eating up a lot of damage. C4 comes out, doesn't land. Fortunately, they don't hit as much as they do anymore. Anti, though, finally cleans up the buck, and that's a big kill. That's a vertical power play right there off the board.
That's going to be very unfortunate. Good was first pick. Last round, he's going to be first pick this round. I feel like my sickness has gone on to you because my throat's been messed up these last 2 days.
I've been sick for like a week, so.
Anyways, unfortunately, Go was taking out first pick last round. Now he's going to be first pick again this round. That is not looking too good. Team Nut down to player. About a minute remaining in the round as well. We'll see if boys on Team Nutorious are going to be able to operate without him just like they did last round. As it comes out to about 45 seconds.
It's definitely possible. The collapse has to start happening in Brazo. The man of the hour, 13 and 7. My apologies. Gets the kill, but with 30 seconds left into the round, they've got no vertical play. They've got no entry into the site outside of the main wall. They've got to make something happen, and something has to happen soon. Damos, though, is tracking down Stokesy. So once again, can something happen? But hot drop has to happen. No drone, or one drone is coming in. They've got to pretty much aim and swing aimlessly without a single common sight. But the possibility is our Guso does take off Sir Nut. Plant's going down. Faster right into coverage. Another kill comes out. Stokes gets one. Faster gets another. The plant is cold. Dom saving the
Oh,
round, saving the game for Team Overtake. I gotta say, Team Notorious really brought themselves back. Just was not enough. Simple, minute mistakes was their downfall, and for Overtake, they cleaned it up. It really is that the Alphas finally showed up, and it is in the colors of Overtake.
well, I gotta say, it was close. Notorious winning those last two rounds. I was like, oh my God, this could actually really go OT. So amazing job from them. But of course, Dom to close it out. Dom, an amazing pivotal player for the boys on Overtake. A great game for both teams. Honestly, it was great. It was just unfortunate that unfortunately Team Notorious weren't able to take that to OT as close as it was. I will say I don't want to, be too hard on everybody, but I think that Notorious's overall teamwork with each other. I said on the defense they were great at holding those cross angles. I think that was their biggest accommodation that I had to give them was the fact that they hold these cross angles amazing. But it just didn't seem like a lot of people were really able to show up, and it kind of shows. Because look at the KDs for everybody except for Braze. You don't have to have a positive KD, but I think that it definitely hurts when almost nobody on your team is positive except for one person versus a team like Overtake where almost everybody is at the very least handling their own, minus of course Andy, which it happens. But I think that a big portion of it has to do with the fact that Team Notorious, I guess they just weren't really able to find picks or at least be in good positioning to not get picked or to just be able to get a pick for themselves.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree, and I think the ratings do just about as much justice as they do. Now, of course, there's a lot more into the game outside of just the numerical values that comes with that comes into influencing the team. Andy, for example, he might be influencing with comms, with call outs, and making sure that everyone around him understands what's going on. Because at the end of the day, he's got four players that can kind of pick up that weight. When Braze is not on the board, Fast is the next one up to step up, and even then, he was struggling for the good portion of that match. G Nut and S Nut they and Osa have a combined 17 and almost 30 K or 17 and 30 KD between three players. It's unheard of to be playing not necessarily that poorly, but that inconsistency in comparison to the other two players that a lot of changes has to happen for Team Notorious if they want to see success. Now, of course, not much changes can happen between now and the next 15 to 20 minutes when they have another matchup coming soon. But for Team Overtime, we can't take that away from them. They played really well. They played coordinated. They played their game, and they took the game to Notorious from round one to round 12. It got a little dicey here and there between quarter two and quarter three, but they sealed the deal. They got the job done.
Yeah, that's really it. And I mean, despite how almost everybody was negative on Notorious, that game was the score was a lot closer than you'd imagine.
Yeah.
Considering that almost everybody was negative, it seems like there was something about Team Notorious, and I think that if players were maybe just a little bit more independent, or at least able to be a little bit more independent, the game could have definitely been a lot different. But as for Overtake, congratulations for your first win as their third game, and they did win it. Honestly, I mean, I guess you could say that they were the underdogs coming into this because of the fact that they didn't have any wins under their belt. But I mean, this was an amazing performance nonetheless. I think the only kind of thing that I was a little bit skeptical about was that taking that time out when they won 3 rounds in a row. I thought that wasn't necessary. But regardless, congratulations to them. I think that this was an amazing first impression, and Notorious, you will be seeing them in about 5-10 minutes when they play their second game for tonight, and I believe the second and only other game for tonight. So we will be right back. Don't go anywhere for too long, and we'll see you guys fairly shortly. Okay, peace. Yo, what is up, guys? I came back with coffee. Can y'all see that? Oh, coffee's like my medicine. Tea doesn't work like coffee does. Alien,
So,
welcome back with me. We're here for the two piece for the two piece. We got two games tonight, casted by me and Alien. That's the two man. Let me just take a sip. See, look at how different my voice kind of sounds. Eh? Not too shabby, right? Told you it's the coffee. Alien, you excited for game two? Game one was great. It was a close one. What about
yeah,
what are your expectations for this game? Or did you want
if
to talk about last game a little bit?
um final notes in last game, I think Team Overtake, they overtook the game. I think for Team Notorious, it's a lot that can be learned from, and a lot that I'm hoping they can build from going into this match. Now, of course, you know, new map, new series, new problems. But some of the problems that
Unbelievable
they had
problems.
last game, which was only two players really showing up across 11, almost or across 12 rounds, is almost unacceptable. And I really hope that this time in between these two maps or in between these two matches, that they have been able to talk and they've been able to kind of relax and ease their way into this next matchup. Now, of course, with the fact that they really didn't get a chance to kind of go and use the restroom as long as we get to, or go get dinner, go get food, and kind of be able to kind of dilute and be able to break down what they just went through, they now have to kind of take a 10, 15-minute conversation, but hey, this is what we saw. This is what we need to fix. Let's get this shit done for this next map. And of course, this next map will be brought to you by the
Yeah,
following.
hopefully, because last game everybody was kind of negative, except for Mr. Braze, who did amazing. At least maybe last game was like a bit of a warm up for them. Let's take a look at their statistics right here as a team. Um, both of these teams have kind of similar. Prior to Notorious's last game, their win loss percentage was also at a 1-1. Now it's obviously going to be 1-2 because they just lost their last map. We'll see if they're going to be able to bring it back up to a 50, or if these ballers are going to be able to secure themselves another win on top of the one that they already have. Speaking of the boys and the ballers, let's take a look at who we are going to be seeing playing tonight on their side. Here are the statistics. And it looks like Tox is going to be the player of the match to watch. At least he's been doing amazing so far. And last match that they had was against Relo Skyline, a cool 3-7. They lost it, unfortunately. We'll be seeing if they'll be doing a little bit better off of that loss that they just came off of. And now we can take a look at the actual players on the team.
Yeah, nothing for Ball that they bring in, but pretty big players. Tox, of course, is that NA player that you see in the middle. Gug, Jogu, Quick Cape, and of course, there is a fifth player. No. Now, of course, with these five players for Baller, the big one that we want to kind of look towards is Tox. Is that middle player? He's got the one with the highest survivability. It seems like the highest amount of kill count. Doesn't have necessarily have the highest death count. I think only two or a handful of players actually all have a higher kill count than Tox himself. But two players that I want to kind of take some time on is Jog as well as Nah. Those are two
Gug.
players that I believe that if they're able to kind of pick themselves up, they got two of the highest amount of death counts in the baller roster. They're able to minimize their deaths and able to impact the game in a manner that has not been able to impact after the first two matches. I think baller will see a lot of success in comparison to a team Notorious, who outside of two players, they really don't have a supporting cast. It's going to be a matter of which supporting cast is able to perform. And as of right now, even after what we have seen, I want to say that I still got to give it to Baller just by a hairline.
I I actually am very familiar with these. I don't know who the NA is, but I am very familiar with Gugger. I'm very familiar with Jorgoku. Two, just off the bat, amazing players in themselves, but also very kind individuals. So I'm going to be really excited actually to see how they are going to be performing this game. I would say Gug and Jorgoku are the two players to watch actually. As for the team that we just casted, the boys on Team Nut, Bray's still going to be the player to watch. He was also a player to watch last map as well. Unfortunately, their last game was against Overtake, which wasn't 3-3. It was a 5-7. There you go. 5-7 game. So hopefully we'll be seeing them maybe win this out, as it was a little bit disappointing that they had lost their last match against Overtake despite trying so hard.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree. And I think, and like you had mentioned, Braze is a player to watch. He was a phenomenal player last game. I think he ended the match like 14-8, 14-7. He had a high KPR, high rating. Overall, a phenomenal player. I believe the player that's really keeping this team notorious competitive and keeping this team glued together. Now, of course, he still has four teammates. Gut, Select, Faster, the other big player that showed up last game, even though he wasn't necessarily as impactful as Braze. And then Osa, of course, really struggled that entire series for the most part. I believe him and Select were the two that were lowest in the entire rating board. So they've really got to step it up. Like I had mentioned just before when we were looking at Baller's roster, we have to look at Team Notorious as the supporting cast, the two players outside of Braze and Faster, Gut, Select, and Osa. If they can really pick themselves up and shake off what just happened in Nighthaven, they can really and help out Braze and Faster and finalize some of these rounds that they are starting off really hot in. We can see a much stronger showcasing from Team Notorious. But of course, that all really just comes down to what map are we going to be looking at into this series. Clubhouse, Nighthaven, Chalet,
Ooh,
Skyscraper,
Nighthaven's
off
out.
the off rip. So no repeats for tonight, at least. Larry and Bank,
No,
off
please
the
don't
board.
say consulate.
Nearly down to the final three. Ladies and gentlemen, Border Cafe off the board. Constant is where we're going to be taking the battlegrounds tonight. And this is where we're going to see Team Notorious as well as Baller finalize their positioning. Now, of course, for Team Notorious, they're coming into this game after a 7-5 heartbreaking loss. They really did well between rounds 4 through 6. And then, of course, towards the latter half of the matchup against Overtake. But for Baller, they've been playing really well all season. Yeah, their score line might be saying 1-1, but they've been playing really well. Team Notorious, that was only the second game they've really been able to play, and it wasn't even that convincing. So it's gonna be a big matchup in Consulate. It's one of my favorite matches from way back in the day. Bianca, from your reaction, I can tell you're not a big fan.
Oh my god, I hate playing it. I hate casting on it. Honestly, it might genuinely be my least favorite map in the entire. I think I would literally rather play theme park. I'd rather play
Mm.
skyscraper than gauntlet. Seriously, but it is what it is. I will say, I think that the chemistry that Baller has. I don't know who the two other players were on Baller. We're gonna see, and if the names ring a bell, I think I'd be able to tell whether or not they're familiar, because I know that Jog and Doug play all the time. Great chemistry between the two, and between just together on a team with their other friends as well. So we'll see how that goes. First band's coming out. Like I said, it is on console. It's gonna be unfortunate. Probably we'll see a Mira ban, obviously. At least I would assume so. No,
Mm.
maybe Mira is gonna be safe for a little bit later. The Azami is gonna come out along with the BB first on the list. I wouldn't be surprised if a potential Ying might end up getting banned, but we'll see very soon. Also, Team Notorious is going to be on the offense. I believe on console they were defending first. I mean, on Night even they were defending first, so we'll see this offensive half now coming through. And as for the bans, not even well, there goes the Ying ban that I had mentioned. I wouldn't be surprised if that came through. Team Notorious, I also do not think banned Mira out, which I'm surprised on a map like Consulate. I feel like Mira's pretty powerful, honestly, on almost any map.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree with the way that the ban phases actually work out. The fact that they have got to go through at least the first half, or the first quarter of the matchup with Mira available in the hands of Baller, and they're
Attackers need
attacking
to
first
locate
on
and defuse
console
as many
is
bombs
gonna
as
be
they
a
can.
rough one. I remember the days in the setups you're able to utilize Mira, the way you're able to kind of go through a triple layer onion style SSG roam to go hold garage, and Mira's roaming as well. Mira set up in the first floor by piano. Mirror set up upstairs to kind of help the top floor hold and forcing the attackers to kind of peel that onion, that defensive setup. And so by the time they go to the basement, they're almost done, left with nothing. The reworks of Consulate and the mirror now and the availability of mirror right now, I've got to say
10
it
seconds to
is
insertion.
making me salivate in my mouth. Honestly, I might have to
What?
clean up I might have to clean the dust off my boots, play Siege for at least 6 months,
Attackers are
and then get
moving
back
out
into
to locate a
competitive play.
bomb and defuse
That's
it.
how much I love playing Mira. That's how much I love playing Consulate. And I've got to say, I'm excited to finally see Consulate in competitive scene for the first time all year.
I do not recognize any other player on Baller. The Webster and I don't. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe they're under a different alias, but those are definitely not players that I recognize. Doesn't matter though. We'll see how this round continues to to continues to play out. My bad. Quick Ape is going to be the only person that's actually going to be offside. Everybody else is going to be up on that top floor, holding it down as best as they possibly can. Team Notorious going to start opening up walls and slowly but surely getting rid of that utility. C4 is going to launch. Is it going to take anybody out? Not at all. So we'll see now. Just a minute, and already that coffin wall is open.
Yeah, a lot of utilities already being expended from both teams. The C4 already flying out. I believe that's the only C4 they have. I don't know. They got one more C4 available for the round. But of course, a lion call being popped in within the first 5 seconds was a little questionable. That does enable some movement, and some advancement from the attacking team as the second call does ring true. So both line roars are off the board within the first 90 seconds. Still could be called now. This next lineup try and disrupt any sort of sound cues that the defenders are trying to utilize. Of course, though, all 10 players still alive and well. The roam game is going to be vital for Baller if they want to see some level of success. Team Notorious, though, they've got to ensure that they're able to get these entry points and utilize these angles that they're creating for themselves into their favor, and being able to just make sure that they minimize the amount of damage they receive as they go towards the execution. But with the amount of time they've got left, it's not looking too pretty. It is going to start becoming a little more gun-ho as the round progresses, though. Jaeger, though, does take out fast. It's a big kill as the Zofia is off the board. 60 seconds left, and Baller have got the first blood on the scoreboard.
There you go. That's Mr. Jog, one of the players that you want to look out for. Unfortunately, Team Nut is going to be down one player. We'll see if they're going to be able to equalize that, or if they're going to unfortunately have to continue out with this just one player less as the time continues to tick. Everybody now on the side of Baller is going to be up on the second floor I believe it was Quick Cape that was the person that was kind of roaming out, and now he's basically back in, and everybody else is already up on that top floor. However, Cape is going to be extremely low, just about a hair's worth of HP left, and the execute is going to have to start coming. It's going to have to start coming fast. One of the entry points is already going to be blocked off by the flames of Goyo. It's going to be unfortunate, but there comes a pick onto Quick Cape and a potential second if these boys are not careful. Fortunately, it's going to be G-Nut is going to get taken down, and Sternut is going to find himself another one. The Goyo's just about missing this corner. Might just be a cheeky lick off plant, but no. Reps onto that final kill with shotgun as he was trying to plant in that corner. Thought he found a gateway. He didn't. They heard it. And so a beautiful round. Boys on Baller will find a success in their first defensive round, securing them that win, bringing them down to the basement next.
Yeah, no, a beautiful way that Baller was able to hold off. They got the entry kill off rip. But the biggest question mark I gotta have in terms of Team Notorious is the line just deciding to go gung ho, go chasing for a kill, knowing that the defenders have got that entire side of the floor in their hands. Why are we pushing? Why are we trying to make a play what is unnecessary? Just hold the angle. You've already forced the defenders far back enough to be able to go for the plant. The utilities are being burnt off. Both oil cannons were shot out with still ample amount of time for you to position yourself for a plant. Both C4s were gone by the time the execution was even being attempted. Impacts were non-existent. You had everything in your hand to be able to go for the execution, and one false step, one overzealous, one overconfident player missed a shot, pulls out his pistol, got killed by the frost, and it became a domino effect of Team Notorious' entire execution setup. Beautiful way for Baller to be able to hold their ground. They were able to, their trigger discipline throughout the entirety of that round, and they were able to they're able to enjoy the fruits of their labor. A beautiful round win, and now they're going down to Garage, a site that I personally enjoyed playing during my time. Kylo, he drilled it down into me with the way you start top floor. I believe I played Smoke. I
What did
played
he
Smoke. I
drill
played
into you?
Legion, top
Hold
floor,
on.
Rome.
Pause.
I remember those good old days, though, where we just played top down, forced the attackers to kind of clear our way through. I'm interested to see how Team Notorious is planning to attack this Baller's defensive set.
All right. I didn't know that Kylo and you had a little history like that. But anyways.
Bonnie and Clyde, you know what I mean?
Oh, I wish y'all could hear. I wish y'all could hear Kylo. This guy goes, "Hey, yo." Oh my God, man. Y'all never, you guys are like an old married couple, but in the cutest way possible. I love you guys. Anyways. Back to the task at hand, the stream already. Making some space, Mr. G-Nut is going to start pushing in through that spiral stair hallway, and unfortunately, Sternut,
Reloading.
speaking of nuts, is going to get taken down. It's going to be by Mr. Webster. He says, no, walnuts aren't good. It's going to be pecans that are better. Peanuts are better. So now 4v3, Webster is going to find himself too. Unfortunately, Fasta is going to be able to take him down. That's the instant refrag, and now it's going to be a 3v3, just about a minute 20 remain. It's good progress for both sides.
It is good progress from both sides, but I think when you're looking at the HP count as a whole, Baller still has the upper hand. Now, of course, the drone utility is going to be vital for Team Notorious to make sure that they obtain some level of success. They don't want to fall back and fall into the wayside the way they did just 20, 30 minutes ago when they played up against Overtake, where they started 0-3. Now, of course, console is a lot more defensive setup or defensive map. They're starting on the attack. So it is expected for them to kind of struggle as they make their way through this reworked map. Now, of course, so they've got the utility, they've got the operators. Do they have the players? They've got the two big names. Ken Osa, the ace, the man with the briefcase. Can he do something? Can he make sure that he influences? Unfortunately, he's not able to. But Bray's getting the quick refrag. It's a great way to kind of keep themselves within arm's reach. But Bray's and Fasten now both less than optimal HP for starters. Now having to go up against two fully juiced out players. Jones with a beautiful headshot. It's all down to Braze. Can he get one? No, he misses the shot on one. He knows that the Kai's around the corner, but Jogu says, no, buddy. I've got the English shotgun in my hand. A beautiful setup by Baller. A beautiful round win. I've got to say, Team Notorious, you've got to pick things up because they're starting the way they did last match.
Well, I'm gonna be honest though. Playing against a team like Baller, I'm telling you, they got Mad Kim, Jorgoku, and Gug. They got Mad Kim with each other. So, and I will say both of them are amazing. I don't want to glaze, but I'm glazing. So I will say if Notorious really want to win this out, they got to play off of each other. I love the refrags coming out. Amazing
Attackers need to
refrags.
locate and
Unfortunately,
defuse bombs.
then it was up to Braze. When it's up to, when you're all by yourself, unfortunately, it's kind of hard in a 1v2. So, you give them credit where credit is due. Still amazing, Notorious being able to get those refrags. Just unfortunately, it ended up being a 1v2. If,
Attackers have
the
discovered the
kill went in
location
the
of a
favor
bomb.
of Team Notorious, then I think that they would have won out the round. Regardless, though, third round is going to be played in this piano site, this main floor. So we'll see if Ball are going to play this any differently, or if they're going to maintain the structure that they've held it. Essentially win out this round, going now to the tertiary site, the less common site.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Nothing for the piano setup the way that it was played back in the day, and it's even still played to this day. Is the vertical fortitude, the vertical strength that the defensive side has to have is going to be vital to ensure that Team Notorious is not able to go in and succeed. Now, of course, there is blind spots with the way that this piano side it has been made. There is a way to kind of sneak your way in as an attacker and go for the execution. By the time that the defense is made aware, it's already too late. It does take a lot of coordination. It's something that Team Notorious, for the most part, they've not been able to show in the two maps or in the map and change we've been able to see so far. Now, things can change. Well, for the most part, they're going to be going for the most standard take. Take top floor, clear that entire setup down to its T, and then work your way down, utilizing your vertical equipment, breeze charge, shotguns, the buck, the Zofia, the house, the ramps. It comes down to the vertical prowess of Baller and ensuring that as long as they hold that top floor, Team Notorious is not going for the plane.
We'll see now. Just about 2 minutes remaining, and still everybody's intact. As for the boys on Baller, I was going to say, it seems like there's a very heavy top floor presence. Unfortunately, now one person is dead, and actually make it two. Two people up on that top floor are going to be dead. And so with that, it's going to be a 3v5. Unfortunately, the boys on Baller is not looking too good for this tertiary site. That's unfortunate. And seems like Team Notorious are going to start making their way in immediately, as they should, knowing now that it's a 2v5. They have a 3-man advantage. This is the best so far, and this is honestly the best opportunity to take advantage of, considering that they've lost their last 2 rounds.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree. Beautiful kill does come out from Nas. So that is one kill they've clawed back into their favor. 60 seconds left. Baller really got to hold it down. They've got no C4, so no distance denial is going to be available to them, but the case is still upstairs in the hand of the Buck. Faster though, does take out quick. It's all down to the meter. Shotgun and SMG-11. Spiral staircase has already been made known. Can he land the shot? No, he cannot. Faster cleaning up the round, and Team Notorious winning out round number 3. So at least they're not starting 0-3, but it is expected for them as the attackers to win that tertiary site. If they can claw another round within the next 3, it's gonna be a big telling to how they can then win out this map. But of course, before we even go through that, before we even round 4 starts, get through another ban phase. What operas do you think will be coming in? Well, the answer is right here. The Ram and the Mirror, 2 expected operator bans from respective sides.
What I actually like about this, at first I thought this ban, not this specific, because I know that AEL does a different ban phase versus typical Rainbow. But what I like about this is actually the fact that your defensive setups and offensive setups will eventually change, especially if you were able to use an operator one round and then you weren't able to use them the next time around. Now you have to kind of slowly change your defensive or your offensive setup, forcing you to kind of fill in for the gap that is now closed off with what is happening as the bands progress. And so I like that. The mirror's off the board. We did see a very heavy mirror presence on the side of Baller, so now that she's going to be gone, we'll see how Baller are going to be able to fill in that hole that's now been, created because of the fact that mirror is no longer viable. And an operator like Graham, who, can't really be used for that vertical anymore, we'll see how Nick Tina is going to adapt to that.
Yeah, and I think one way that Team Notorious is at least adapting as well, regardless if the mirror was available, is the introduction of Twitch. Utilizing Twitch throws to try and shoot out those go-go cans is going to be big when it comes to the execution. As long as G is able to protect the Twitch throw and is able to utilize them effectively, we could be looking at a very different outcome to this entire setup. Now, of course, though, it all comes down as well to how Team Notorious is able to respond to the changes that Baller has made. Because for the most part, it's all the same operators. The only main change is the Valkyrie. So a lot more intel is being provided for the defensive setup. But in change, those mirror windows is a big loss. The fact that they have to do it for 3 rounds is going to be painful. Esto takes out Webster. Gugger, though, does get a big kill onto the ace. So that's the hard breacher. Most maps, detrimental. For console, especially top 4, not the end of the world.
We'll see. Now there's just under 2 minutes remaining, and there is still going to be Mr. Quick Cape. He seems to be the guy that is the main roamer. He's going to be the only one on that second floor, or the main floor. We'll see at about what time is he going to start making his way back to site to help out his team. As the boys on Team Notorious, only 2 people are actually inside. The other 2 are going to be outside. It's going to be Mr. Faster and G. We're going to be both slowly but surely making their way in through this admin side. And slowly but surely they'll start to make their way through. I'm assuming they're teammates as well.
Yeah, and just look at the way that the Twitchers already cleared out those go cans onto the A side entry point. Joga does take out S-Nut. So there goes the Grim. That's a big kill. Beautiful tight angle coming out from Sophia, trying to make some damage. Gina, though, does get taken out by Gugger. What a beautiful swing. Faster, though, does get one right back. 3v2 is still in favor of Baller. 55 seconds left. Wallbang might be possible, but is not definitely detrimental just yet. Team Notorious has still got the possibility of getting the round win. Spiral Staircase coming up. A brace. Beautiful headshot onto Quick Cape. 40 seconds left to go. A 2v2 situation. Pixel angles is going to be vital, but the diffuser is in the hands of Faster. Debatably the better of the 2 operators. Braze, though, does get a little bit of a nick damage, but isn't just dead just yet. Creeping in is there. Does he know that the Valkyrie is there? Doesn't realize it at all. Gets 2 clean kills! Gugger! Are you serious? No drone inside, no intel, and 2 free kills. Bladed into him in the silver platter. Beautiful play from Baller. They looked like they were starting to fall into the wayside. You had the 2 best players of Team Notorious available. And the Valkyrie just said, hey, I'm in a corner. How are you? 2 big kills.
Hey, I'm in a corner.
3-1 going into round number 5.
Nice work. Great work. And like you said, no intel, man. Where's the cams? That is such a typical spot to be in. But then again, when time continues to tick, I don't doubt that Team Nut would have probably ended up checking that corner had they had more time. And also, you got to worry about the angle that, is right directly in front of them. You got to take your chances, right? Obviously, there's a chance he's going to be in that corner. He was. But when time continues to tick, you don't really have the luxury of being able to check every single corner. You got to kind of, face your problems one at a time. It just so happens that when you're playing off of each other, the problem number 1 kind of seeps into problem number 2, and you can't really take care of 2 problems at once. So that was unfortunate, and that is what would cost Team Notorious the round. Great job to Baller, though, being able to play off each other. I was going to say an amazing way to play off of each other. You have that person that's in the front that's going to be taking the shots, and then if they do end up dying by the time that the boys on Team Nut end up getting that kill, more than likely you'll have already swung and already taken out one for yourself. So now you're going to take the other one out by surprise. There you go. We'll see now how this is going to go. Baller have basically gotten at the very least their 3 rounds. So, and at the rate that they're going at, it's very likely that they can, at the very least, secure another round under their belt.
Drone
If
ready.
not considering, sorry, granted that they continue at the pace that they are. We'll see though. This is a little bit cheeky. This Caveata, it's going to be Gug. Let's see if he's going to get taken out by surprise, or if he's going to take somebody out by surprise.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree, and I think with the way that Team Notorious is playing in this map against Ballad and what they did against Overtake, they are definitely playing a lot more cohesively. G9 and Osa though still need to kind of wake themselves up. They are still struggling a little bit in this series, but it's still a little too early. I think by round 5, there's still some wiggle room, but this is definitely a make or break for these two players, and maybe even the success of Team Notorious moving forward. It's still really early on. We still got another 4.5 weeks of the season left, but they aren't necessarily improving. I mean, things can change. They might be having an off night tonight, and then by the time we see them again, they could be absolutely berserk. By the time we have them back on stream, but it really is going to come down to, can they fix these small little mistakes that they're making? Can they really change things? But no, there's no way. There's no way. A caviar interrogation in 2025, ladies and gentlemen, and just like that, the tables have changed. Caviar going for another one. Can he get another one? Yes, he can! Fuck! Down for the count! No way! A Caviar in 2025 has ruined the day for Team Notorious, and it's all down to Osa. No!
I knew it, man. I told you, Gug and Jog are the ones to watch.
A double
Absolutely fire, man. How do you let that slide? How do you let that slide? It's all good. Hey, I didn't want to say too much, but I did kind of favor Baller when only, like I said, Gug and Jargoku have great chem. Amazing players, both individually, and their teammates are able to support themselves as well, for the most part. So, I'm not surprised. Team Notorious, they're a little bit rough around the edges. I still think that there is potential to, win. Maybe not the map, but at the very least a couple more rounds. I think there's a lot of potential. Notorious, sometimes a game for a team, having 2 back-to-back games can either, level you up and can really, push you your next game, or it could really break you in a sense where you're exhausted now. They unfortunately lost their last game. They went like 12 rounds that game. Now they're gonna have to play another map. It's exhausting, especially if you end up losing the game prior. So it very well depends on the team and how you end up taking the game before. But this is going to be the last defensive round for Baller in regulation. They're going to be going that tertiary site one more time. This is the one site that they ended up losing. So if history will repeat itself, then at the very least, Team Nutorious can get their 2 rounds, which I think would be good. Defense may be a lot easier for them. We'll see if that is, any truer once the sides flip. But, what are your expectations? Alien, what are your expectations? Do you think that they are going to come out this round and, continue to win that tertiary set as they did before? Or you think maybe it's time that they might end up breaking the curse and leave Split at a cool 5-1?
See, logically speaking, and I want to give benefit of the doubt to the They come out 4-2. They're still down 2 rounds, but they come out with the expected scoreline. But if last round is any indicator of where both of these teams are at right now, a 5-1 going into the second half is almost expected. And it's no knock to the Tories. It's not saying that they're a bad team. They're not. They're great. They're a good team. That's why they're here. Well, getting interrogated twice and getting round out, getting absolutely just broken apart. It's hard. That's a good way to start, though. Faster, taking on Jogu off the rappel. That is a great way to start within the first 60 seconds. You got a big player, and of course, the utility's already down. It's already made its home. But Jogu, 7-3. The big player for Baller as of right now off the board. Triple captain. Trap off the board. Passer getting another kill. He's pissed off. He's awake. 7-4 scoreline. Quick case eating up a lot of damage. He's trying to fall, run away. Faster though, also eating up a lot of damage from the player in CEO office. The player in CEO office all by themselves. All I see are familiar faces. And Frost runs away. Scot-free is still alive.
Oh my God, Gug.
No way.
Oh my God, peep this right now.
Yes, gets one. A 1v4 situation, but gets cleaned up by Faster. Faster really excited. Oh no. Oh no. What we're not about to do is interrogate my team and get away with it. Good response by Faster.
Yeah.
Good response by Nutorious. A 4-2. Respect the scoreline. But can they now do what Baller did to them in a, I'm gonna say in a more disrespectful manner, because you can't get any more disrespectful than 2 interrogations.
Oh my, maybe make it 3 interrogations. You think that's more disrespectful? Just kidding.
How about an ace?
Ooh, that would be. I mean, I think I've seen Gugger Ace before. Maybe, I don't doubt it. But, anyways, the zombies coming off first. We'll see if Baller is going to end up banning the Mira off, or if they're gonna. I believe it was the Clash that Notorious had ended up banning for this first kind of half of the ban phase. Regardless, doesn't matter. We'll see how that ends out. Hopefully, Notorious will be a little bit stronger on their defensive side. There's the Mirror coming out. Then on their offensive side. The 2 rounds that they won were the tertiary sites, and honestly, Baller didn't perform that round. That was basically almost a flawless. You know, if Gug hadn't gotten that like 1 single kill, then yeah, you know what, it would have been a straight flawless. So, and he ended up getting that kill shooting somebody in the back. So, you know what, I think we'll count it as a flawless. I think that's fine, even though Gugger did also get shot in the back. Anyways, I digress. Let's see how different Team Notorious play now that they're on the defense. How, you know, if they're going to end up having a very heavy rope presence, or if they're going to try and play it a little bit more safe, considering that they are down 2 rounds. At the very least, it could be worse. They could be down 3 rounds. The score could be, or not 3 rounds, 4 rounds. They could be down 5-1. But, no, they're not. Thank God. That'd be awful.
Yeah. Now, I do like the little cheeky Valkyrie spot in the office. Is about as old as time, honestly. 1 top spiral as well. 2 very big Valkyrie camp spots that's been out in the game since, well, the introduction of Valkyrie into Rainbow Six Siege. Now, of course, the Team Notorious are hoping that both the old and the new is able to kind of push them forward into success, push them forward into, and put them in a position to where they're fighting for a regulation win. Now, of course, though, with Brava also available, taking, and the fact that she's able to take defensive utility with her own, that is a big amount of utility. Lucy Gadge, I believe, is what she caught with that first shot. If she's able to kind of get some intel, maybe a camera or 2, it could be big. But, of course, Bravo don't get shot out. I believe she's got 1 more in her pocket. So, not the end of the world. You know, good first little stage for a Baller. But for Team Notorious, I really do hope that they bring in a fight that Baller, for the most part, probably aren't expecting.
Continuing now, just about a minute into the round, and not much is being done except for the fact that Mr. Na is in the building. Everybody else now following in on this admin side, and by everybody else, I mean 1 other person, Mr. Gug, who's going to be slowly assisting Mr. Ganana. And Team Notorious, everybody is up on this top floor. Nobody is going to be roaming around at all. We did see, you know, Mr. King Quick Cape was roaming about, but it seems like for Team Notorious, everybody's going to be laid back, chilling inside. Actually, it seems like Fast's the only person that's actually kind of off-site. He's on that spiral staircase. He is the Valk, so he might be looking in for a cheeky little C4 kill, but other than that, everybody's slowly but surely making their way in through, and as I say that, this Baller is making their way through, and Team Notorious holding it down as best as they can now that we're just about approaching a minute remaining.
Yeah, no, all 5 players are still available. A lot of utility is being expended from both sides. The old canister did go off a little early. I believe that might come to bite them in the butt as the round might progress and as execution might commence by the Baller's side. But now, playing Blackberry also has a diffuser in hand. The verticality from below is also going to be viable, or a possible late round flank. Spiral staircase. Does he know that the player is behind the statue? No, he does not. Quick Cape gives up one. Faster getting a double. Gina getting another. Joku does clean up one. Brazy getting another. It's all down to Yogu. It doesn't even matter. Nutorious just said, slam the door shut. It don't even matter who you are. We're going to clean you up, pack you up into the next round. What a beautiful way to start the second half.
Amazing defense from Team Notorious. Hey, they were looking quite shaky, honestly, but amazing picks. They were able to isolate their ones. I mean, that Valk, oh my God, that was absolutely beautiful. It was Mr. Faster. You know, that one song by Kanye West. Better, faster, stronger. Like, okay, Mr. Stronger. Oh, sorry, Faster, sorry. I was thinking about the song, the name of the song. Faster's coming in. He's coming in hot. He's coming, even with the MPX, and mind you, the MPX is like a pea shooter, man. He was able to hit that, and he hit it where it hurts. Baller already down 2 players, and then the walls of the castle started to crumble slowly but surely. So, amazing round. We'll see if Team Notorious are going to be able to hold down the basement just as well as they held up that top floor. There's not going to be a Valkyrie. And we'll see how they're going to move, how they're going to continue to play out this round. If there's going to be anybody that's kind of going to be roaming about, or if, again, they're going to have a very heavy bunker down site type of defense.
The operator swaps that came out from Baller was also very intriguing. Ying, Ying, Ash, and I forgot who the third operator was, all being swapped out for Blackbeard, Brava, and Ace. So an interesting little setup that might be coming out from Baller. Of course, a lot of time still to tell, and a lot of information still needs to be obtained, but we might be looking at a bit of a fast execution. We might want to get off the drone because, oh, never mind, that's just me looking at Blackbeard through the wall. I'm just blind. I just got these glasses. I might need to get a new prescription. Doesn't even matter. For the most part, Baller making their way in. About as uncontested as it gets in terms of what Team Notorious could be doing. But of course, they're competitive players. I'm merely just a caster. So a lot of questions I don't have a right to ask for. Faster, though, is waiting for the opportune moment to kind of swing out. Braze also there in support. So it's understandable the two best players are playing as close as they got. Gridlock, that's an operator I have not heard in the competitive scene in a long time. Lapper's just baiting for somebody to swing at him. But if Team Notorious is as good as I imagine them to be, they're going to be triggered, disappointed. They're going to wait for the opportune moment. But that moment better not be too late because Baller is looking for the execution. Quick Game gets one. Osa off the board. Osa's really having a tough night tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Blackbeard at the forefront, making sure that he gets the opening done. 90 seconds left into the round. And I've got to say, Baller making that first PK. Quick Cape getting another one as G-Nut off the board. And I've got to say, Baller just swinging through, but Faster gets one back into the favor. Faster, the is down. And it's all down to just Braze. What is going to be required from the man with the Vector, but it seems unviable, undeniable. It doesn't even matter. They're surrounded like a pack of hyenas. Baller cleaning up the round and says, anything you can do, buddy, I can do better.
Yikes. That was, you know what, too? I was thinking about this. I'm like, you know what? Nobody's even bothering for main breach. The only actual like hard breach, which was the ace, and then Gug had the hard breach charges. They were doing a complete back take, that like server take. Didn't even bother with the main breach, despite having a Brava there. I don't know what Brava was doing by the main breach, but regardless, it worked out. Amazing job from Baller. We'll see if Team Nut are going to be able to go back down to the basement, or if they decide that they're just going to completely scrap that. No, they're going to be going back down to the basement. They need that redemption. And I think that is worth giving it another shot, especially knowing the kind of the pace that Baller are working at. Here we have the Kaid. Last round, they only brought the mute as a type of wall denial. And mute is viable, I'm sure, but it's, you know, maybe it's better to bring the Kaid. And maybe it's even better to have some sort of setup on that server, because that was a heavy server take. I think the main push came from server, that backside. So, Team Notorious, maybe try to adapt. Now at least they're bringing in that Kaid. So at the very least, if, you know, the boys on Baller do decide to go in through the main breach, then it's going to be a lot harder for them, and the boys on Notorious will be able to adapt to it, or at least to like respond to it a lot faster, because they'll have to hear the EMP, or they'll have to, there will be another indicator, a much louder indicator, to know that main breach is being opened up instead of that back wall. And there you go.
Yeah, 30 seconds into the round, and Balla for the most part making that progress well known, well made.
Attackers have dropped
Now,
the
of
bomb
course, a lot of
diffuser.
utility is
Attackers recovered the
not
bomb
really being
diffuser.
utilized so far outside of an EMP grenade and a breach charge. So the opening is definitely there for Balla to go for that garage plant. Different style, different way of executing in comparison to the previous round we just witnessed. A lot of drill work now being done. The prep of it's like a prep phase within the action phase for the attackers at least. As to now identify what is the best course of action in terms of the execution. But you spend too much time going for that prep where you might lose out on the opportunity. And it seems like for the most part, Baller aren't too concerned about losing on the opportunity because they see the opening. Quick kick once again getting the intro kill onto S-Nut. And it's almost like a TK almost happened in front of our eyes. But trigger discipline is there. Baller up in man within 90 seconds.
Mind you, Jorgoku is also still outside of that garage wall. I think he's kind of there to be a little bit of pressure to kind of restrict the way that Team Nut are going to be able to kind of move, and how they're going to be able to, peek and use their angles. Still, that heavy server push, as basically everybody is going to be on that server side minus Jog. We'll see as the execute continues down. Just about a minute remaining in the round now, and Baller, they're going to start making their way through. Worried about, if Jog is going to, kind of sneak in through that main breach himself.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree. And I think for Team Notorious, they've really got to start buckling it down. This is do or die. They're once again in a position where they might be losing out on a win. And of course, they've got to fight it out. Ochido does finally get a big kill. Gina getting another one that could have been a catapult. Nice. One after another. There's absolutely no way. Gina does get one right back. So 1v3, 35 seconds left. The attacker still has one final hope, and that's the hands of, well, the Australian woman. And I've got to say, it's one of my favorite operators to kind of put yourself in the position because you've got everything you could possibly need. Now, of course, a lot of chances have happened to her kit, but the swing doesn't even matter. Osa, hello. Osa's been quiet all night, and 2 big kills in a round that is absolutely vital for Team Notorious to kind of keep this matchup alive. What a way to make yourself known, buddy.
I like that round. Amazing round from Notorious. That not only was that, I believe it was the fuse. I think that was a fuse pick with the shield. Either that or the BB. It was somebody with a shield. Not only was that a pick, but they also had fuse. They had that diffuser in hand. So it kind of put Baller in a position where they actually were forced to kind of get those picks too as well, because the fact that now they couldn't necessarily rely so much on being able to plant the bomb, and they also have one less player. Regardless, Valk is coming off the board, and so is Blackbeard. So we'll see how that works out. I'm surprised that they didn't end up getting rid of the fuse. I feel like we saw the fuse get played more than Blackbeard, at least kind of my memory. But anyways, either of them got played a lot. And instead of having the BB now,
attackers need to
we're gonna have a
locate and
blitz.
defuse as many bombs as they can.
It's definitely a decision to make, especially if you're balling, knowing that they're going to the top floor. I think Blitz brings a lot of utility and a lot of momentum changing aspects to its kit. That being said, you're losing a gun. And in this day and age, in the way that the game is played, sometimes, I mean, at least for me, I would prefer having a gun than a shield. If you're able to play with the shield and play really well, more power to you. I only know a handful of people that know how to use a shield. So I'm interested to see how Baller plans to incorporate the blitz into this entire attacking setup. Because if you catch the blitz on their own, yeah, they're frightening. It's a frightening yellow train running at you, but it's a train that you can kind of mitigate and kind of control with the proper utility, with the proper positioning, if you're Team Notorious. So I'm interested to see how much of an impact Blitz will have in this round.
Very least, opening up breaches. It's going to be that coffin wall. Not only that, but I love this new strategy. Basically stopping any form of denial at all from happening. That breach is going to be opened up. The only thing that might be a little bit cheeky is having that the vertical from below. You know, potentially could see that. But here comes Jog actually to take care of that. There is actually going to be somebody downstairs. Or no, there was. My fault. There, yes, it is. It's going to be the Solus, who's up on that first floor. I'm not sure if he realizes that Jog was kind of in and around his area. Still, at the very least, he is the only person that's actually officially in the building. And he's going to be up on that first floor looking for something. He might just end up going up these yellow stairs. And maybe his teammates are waiting for the call out from him to say, look, it's clear. Start making your way through. Regardless, about a minute and a half remaining in the round. And nothing crazy has happened just yet, other than some denial and some breaches getting opened up.
You know, I definitely do agree. And I think the Twitch run is going to be a pretty vital. Well, never mind. Because you can take an end to that Twitch run. Anyways, ball is in a phenomenal position. But of course, that roam game, like you had mentioned before, the solo playing downstairs. I think one other player or playing downstairs are kind of going to wait for that late game push. They're going to wait for the execution to kind of be attempted, and that's where we're going to start pushing up. They're going to try and become a nuisance to the Achilles of Baller. The utility is being utilized. Jogu, coming up the staircase, is kind of covered in 6, but no, Asnut getting a big kill out to one player. Does he know there's another one swinging? No, does not. Quick kick does get a quick kill. No, getting another one. And just like that, 2 fast bodies coming off to the ground for Team Notorious. Baller with the man count with 35 seconds left to go into the round.
Beautiful. And the boys on Baller still have that man advantage. They also do have the bomb in hand. Solus also being gone is going to be great. It's going to be a lot in their favor of Baller, but a 3v4 turns to a whoa! Hello? What just happened? It was a 4v3, now it's a 1v2. Shots are being fired. And can't you believe that? The position that Baller was in was absolutely amazing. They had bomb, they had the man advantage. Now, from the same corner that Gugs was in, Braze cleans it out. Notorious taking back their throne. It's 5-5 right now. Baller had all the puzzle pieces to build this puzzle and complete it. They had bomb and they had man advantage. Shots firing from this corner from everywhere. Brother Osa got 2 picks with a pistol. Hello? Whipping it out and putting them down. That's all I gotta say. It's a 5-5 scoreboard right now. Notorious leveling up. Can't be any better right now. Here comes that tertiary site. Middle floor piano.
It's almost as if Osa has been hearing us talk about them all night. And when I mean us, I mean not me. And has decided in 3 straight rounds become absolutely. They have been vital to the success of Team Nutorious in the last couple of rounds. They have been able to pick up multiple kills in back-to-back rounds. Big kills that has enabled his team to build the momentum to then seal off the round win. Osa just flipped the switch and has directly aided to this mountainous comeback from Team Notorious. It's effectively a reset from both teams. But at the same time, it's winner goes into map point. And for Baller, you're playing Consulate, a defensively favored map. Not necessarily looking good for you. But for Team Notorious, you're also going up against a team that, for the most part, has been able to clean up your utility faster than most people would like to even admit. And the pressure that they're putting onto this roam game from above is big, but Braze showing why he's one of the big players, the big names for his team. Gets the first pick, but Gugger, though, does get one right back onto S-Nut. The aggressive play is coming in from Braze. Is he even being detected by the Blitz? I don't think so, but he might hear something. Gugger, though, gets Osa, and Blitz is now on the hunt. He smells blood, and he's going straight after it, but Braze thinking very correctly. Gina, though, eating up a lot of damage onto that main lobby entry point. Within the first 60 seconds, a lot of blood has already been shed from both teams, but most importantly, Notorious is down, and down bad.
I like, how the only person in sight is going to be Gina. Everybody else is defending different parts of the map, trying to deny as much as they possibly can. The boys on ball are still having that man advantage, and that's going to stop Mr. Faster from potentially catching them off guard. That's going to block off those yellow stairs for that little period of time. So Notorious won't really be able to do too much with that, but at the same time, Baller won't be able to come down the stairs either. I'm sure that they're worried about that little hatch as well. Still, now just about a minute remaining in the round. Baller still having that man advantage. They will not be able to maintain that for long. That's going to be a two-piece for Braze, potentially in the works of an ace. Not only that, but G-Nut is actually going to be DB and will be picked back up. And we'll see now with the final minute in the round if Team Notorious are going to be able to hold it down any better than they have so far. This match might cause a couple of problems.
Yeah, no, it's the amount of HP that Baller has over Team Notorious is definitely a big one, but the gun advantage is definitely their threat. Getting another one faster is just going absolutely insane. Everybody from Team Notorious decided to wake up a Gogger that does get a drip kill onto the round as he cleans off the head of G-Nut. The blitz is now the covering fire. Ace going for the plant. Ella swinging faster, doesn't get it. Braze gets one! A triple for Braze is all down to one. No! Braze with the double onto the round and Notorious. Where does the Notorious team come from? They were down. They were down for the count. They were onto the canvas. But they have risen up like the Undertaker and have brought this series back into their hands. 6-5, and just like this, a flip of a switch. Baller, you're looking at having to force overtime now, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god. Oh my god! What a round. What an absolute round. These two teams, man. I can't believe Gug got that plant off. There you go. There's the playing off of each other. Let me tell you something, and I've been saying this. Notorious is amazing. I think that once the players really are able to come together, they do great. I think that last match on Nighthaven obviously clearly wasn't a full show of their potential. Look at their players now. How much closer their involvement with the team is. Not obviously just using call outs or anything, but their actual individual statistics. It's not nearly as tragic as it was last game. Braze is doing great, Faster's doing great, Osa's not doing bad at all. He's and Gina and Esnut, they're all doing their own things in their own ways. Not as bad as last game.
5 seconds to insert.
They're obviously negative, but not as bad as last game. And you can tell, look at how much better they're playing. And I think that the one thing that really shines through with Team Nut is the way that they're able to double up and hold these crosses, where you're able to basically close in on a single operator and finish it out. I think every team, obviously, majority of a team will know how to do that, but I will say that I want to point it out because I think that is really good at being able to hold these crosses and basically be able to have their teammates back. Regardless, we'll start to see Baller move their way through again. Looks like another server taken. I'm going to assume that somebody's going to be over by the garage wall, which, yeah, it's actually going to be Jog and Mr. Gananana, who will both be making their way through. On top of that, Gug, that Heartbreach, he's also going to be Ace. So, of course, server. He's going to probably be accompanied by none other than the Thatcher, Mr. Quick King.
Yeah, a very nice spread coming out from the Baller attack. Now, of course, still a lot of time and still a lot of work that needs to be done before they can start cracking down on Team Nut's setup. That being said, it's not going as slowly as you might want to anticipate. Blitz though, ooh, that's a bit of a long angle or a bit of a range for a pistol to try and get a kill, but it is definitely doable. And within the first minute and some change, Notorious, one of the walls has already been opened up, but beautiful trick we're coming out from the Kaid, a distant counter hard breach operator, one of my favorite operators as well that's come out. Beautiful slug shotgun that you're able to utilize them. And great way for Baller, not Baller, for Notorious to kind of hold them off. For Baller, they're kind of been hit a bit of stalemate. We'll see if they can kind of breach their way through. Ella swinging through, beautiful thermite break from the other side of the wall. Great hold off coming out from Team Notorious with 60 seconds left to go. All 10 players are still alive. No, wait a minute. Is this a. Oh, there's no way it's a one dimensional attack push. There's absolutely no way
It
it's a one
is. It
dimensional
has
attack
to.
push.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
all,
say,
all
notice
five
how the
players are on one
thermite
side.
rotated. I was gonna say, notice how the thermite rotated all the way to the back. Seems like getting main breach is no longer a concern for the boys on Baller. They said, sorry. They said, preach this, bro. We're going in. We gotta go all in one area. And so Eska, who's the first one to take down
Oh,
Webster, actually finding themselves 2, potentially 3. Look a little bit more to the left, a 2v4, which are to a 1v4, and it's gonna be up to Mr. Ja. This is unfortunate. Now making it a 1v3. This is a 2-piece. He's gonna have to ace the spawn around to bring his teammate to OT. Baiting a little bit. Jesus, oh my god. Turning his back for a second, nearly dies at a hair's worth of HP. There comes the swing out. A 1v3 will turn to a 1v2 in 5 seconds. The boys on Nut don't have to do anything but hold it down. Time ticks. And that is the end of Consulate. Wow. Team Nut. They came back and man, did they come back strong. That was incredible. Amazing job from the boys on Team Nut. A valiant effort for Baller, but I mean, damn, how do you sell that? How do you give that up? Look at the scoreboard. It was 5-3. It was basically, or no, yeah, it was 5-3. How, oh,
that
one round away from that OT or
that was
that
like that
match
was the
point.
most. I'm going to say it's about the most anticlimactic way for that entire map to end because of how multi-dimensional these attacks have been from both teams. And then on the one round where Balla needs to win, they decide to go. You know what? One door, one wall. That's all. This is not a
But I
law
think
firm. This is Rainbow Six Siege.
but I think the main reason why too was because of the fact that the the charges were thermite or were Kai tricked, I guess, on that backside. So the thermite probably wasn't able his charges. He used up all of his charges or something. Who knows? Anyways, it just seemed like the garage wall they weren't able to get that for whatever reason. I don't know why. A lot of the time, and I wasn't really paying attention too much to how many people were actually roaming. But I feel like instead of having a blitz, they should have had some sort of vert. So that at the very least, if you plan to get the wall, especially main breach, you don't necessarily need to have somebody that with EMPs to bring you. Instead, you can have somebody up on that vert. I feel like Notorious didn't. I don't think neither of the teams had, or either of the teams had a lot of a very heavy roam presence. Maybe when they were going that tertiary site where that top floor it has a lot greater of an advantage if you're defending it, top down. But the basement floor, I don't think it was much more bunkered down. I think you could have gotten away with potentially, you know, getting the wall from above and then just opening it up a regular way. I think that double the idea was there, but I think that something ended up messing them up, and they were forced to push in through one site or one area.
It's definitely possible. But enough of the kind of recap of the last round. Looking at the statistic from here, great work coming out from Team Notorious. They were able to kind of flip what the story was from the last map against Overtake in Night Haven. A lot more influence and a lot more presence was being made from Nut, from S Nut, Osa, and G Nut. Look at G Nut for example, 100% headshot percentage. G Nut became G Unit. Now, of course, Osa, one of the, in my personal opinion, Osa really flipped the switch, really became that big player, that big third big player for Team Notorious. He was able to kind of influence the game, influence in a way that Braze and Faster was been doing it round in, round out. Osa was able to do it, especially in the latter half in their comeback. Most importantly, Osa was definitely the player to kind of be watching throughout the last half of that series. Now, of course, Jogan and Gunger on a hand for Baller. They did what they needed to do, but Quick Cape, he had moments of brilliance. I think, in my personal opinion, but for the most part, 5 and 11 on 0.61 rating, 80% headshot percentage is a great percentage. But look at the survivability. The worst survivability in the entire out of all 10 players in the server. I think
Less
I
than
have a better
10%.
survival. Yeah,
Brother,
I have got a better survivability.
brother.
I didn't even play. My survivability was that much better. Quick Cape really has to step on that survivability, but overall, a great map, a great matchup overall from both of these teams. Team Notorious though does edge it out in a phenomenal manner. Honestly, it's not even edging out at this point. They absolutely overwhelmed Baller. They took the match back into their hands after, like you had mentioned, they went down 3-5. They had to play pretty much perfect siege for the remainder of the series, and they did so in a manner that I did not expect it. Hey, y'all made me eat my words, and that's all I gotta say, Team Notorious.
I'm glad. I'm glad. And I would have said, like I said, I'm very familiar with Jog and Gugger. I'm not familiar with any of the other players. Typically, um, they have other players that they play with. So maybe this is a couple of, rough around the edges. You gotta work with each other. Um, but enough with Baller. Notorious, amazing. First game, it was definitely hard to kind of call them a team or at least to envision them as a team, as a lot of them were kind of just not stepping up to the plate like I had thought that they would. But this game, incredible. And it was a rocky start, I would say. I was very confident that Baller was going to close this out. Not fast, but I was fairly confident that, the boys on Baller were going to settle this game and let it be that. I'm glad that Notorious were able to come out on top because that was amazing. I loved that. And you know what? They definitely stepped up. Like I said, I think the biggest compliment that I can give to them is the fact that they are very much able to play off of each other. The cross angles that they continue to always hold, I love that. And I think that that is their biggest strong suit is the fact that they're able to do it really well. I think, even on the first map that they ended up losing, they still did it amazing. The next map, this one, great. And you know what? They were down, but they won those 4 straight rounds in a row. And congratulations to them because I think they deserved it. I think that they played hard and they definitely stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree, and I think like you nailed everything right on the mark. They took some time. They were a little slow to start, but they were getting the rounds that they needed to win in the attacking phase. And so by the time they went into the defense and they slipped up once or twice, they didn't look concerned. They went 4-2 into the half. They were down 2 rounds defensively. They came out swinging. They played their game and they made sure that Bala did not have that comfortability that they had defensively when they were attacking. They were a lot more expansive, a lot more multi-dimensional. They were attacking Baller in different ways to where it almost looked like Baller was just stepping back, and they weren't able to really develop that momentum that they had. And I've, just props to Notorious. They came out on top. They did so in a manner that not many of us, at least for me, like I said, I wasn't expecting them to kind of have that fight. Once they went down 4-3, I really thought it was going to be over. I thought the match was going to be over about 20 minutes ago, and then they just kept fighting. They kept going. They kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually they overwhelmed Baller, tied the map, and the next we had a full on series. They got a big round 11, and on the 12th round, it just Baller I think just ran out of ideas. They could have pushed down through spiral stairs. They could have come down through yellow staircase. They could have added a layer to their attack, and they did it. They didn't try going from above. They didn't try breaking these hatches. They just decided to just everyone push through server and let's hope for the best. And when you're going up against a team like Notorious, if they're feeling really well, they've got the angles, and you're pushing in one of the hardest angles to pushing in the garage kitchen side. Is just it's a recipe for disaster. At the end of the day, Ballers slipped up. Team Notorious won the round, and then they won the map 7-5 in a manner that may look close, but at times I'll be honest, felt a lot more comfortable than the scoreline may even predict.
I like that. And I think that's a perfect way to close it out. Congratulations to Notorious for playing both games. They didn't win both,
Mm-hmm.
but this one definitely amazing. Congratulations to them for that. And a valiant effort from Baller. Also, thank you to, what was their name? Overtake? I think Overtake was the
Overtake,
other team.
overtake, yeah.
Sorry, my bad. Yo, my bad. Like, Overtake, thank you for. All right, bro. Sue me, dude. Sue me. Thank you so much for all the teams that played tonight. And thank you guys for watching tonight's stream. If you were here for just this one game, then thank you very much. Oh, send it to Alien. My bad. All right, Alien,
Yeah.
take it. My bad. Oh,
So,
whoops, meant to say Alien, take it.
so before we do close it out, we do want to send a message out to Piercing. Piercing, we're here for you, man. You know, our thoughts, our prayers, and overall, our support is all towards you. Piercing made a post on Twitter during the stream that he was going to be taking some time from casting. We can't necessarily go into too much into the detail, but all he was able to say is that he's going through a family matter and he's going to be taking some time away. So if you guys can, just keep him in your thoughts, keep him in your prayers, reach out to him privately if you can. And if you're able to find him on Twitter, I believe it's Piercing CV. Show your support to him. He's going through a bit of something. And we just want everyone from AEL to let him know that we're here for him. But other than that, on a less somber note, I try.
That was beautiful, man. My thoughts to Piercing. Maybe I'll, well, no, I definitely will ask him. I wasn't even aware of this. So thoughts and prayers go out to Mr. Piercing. Hopefully everything will end up working out. Apart from that, like you said, on a less sad note, thank you guys so much for watching the games. If you watched both of them, we love you. If you watched just one, we love you. If you watched for the last round to see who would win out this game, we still love you no matter what. Thank you guys so much for being here and for joining us on this beautiful AEL cast. We'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. I won't be here tomorrow, but hopefully somebody else will be here tomorrow to fill in my spot. Kylo, I'm so sorry. Anyways, on behalf of Alien, on behalf of the entirety of production over at AEL, Mr. Kylo, Unnamed Gamer, and everybody else that's helped out for tonight, thank you guys so much for watching. And we will see you again. If you got work tomorrow, well, have a great day at work. If you got school tomorrow, which you probably don't, but if you're taking summer school, enjoy summer school. And if it's your day off, enjoy the day off, guys, and enjoy the weather. It's summertime. Go out and have fun. We will see you guys tomorrow for more games. Have a great night.
Retribution. Retribution.
We were forged beneath the fire, names erased but never tired. From defeat we carve